Playoff podcast time. Tommy, Christian here.
Playoffs. That's why I'm on the bench all the time.
I was going to let you run that as long as you want to. We're going to go to Division 1 now. Again, we're going to do every single division in a different video, so please make sure you go and check out all of them because they're all awesome, all equally awesome, and deserve.
It's playoff time. How can you not? The whole county's getting involved. It's fun. It's fun. Let's go.
All right, D1, first game we're going to talk about. It's the 1 seed, Santa Fe Christian, hosting the number 16 seed, Mira Mesa. I will take SFC.
Absolutely. You got to think that Owen Ashiri's, this whole team, down to Dimitri Wash, everyone is coming for it. Santa Fe Christian could have been an open division team, so you got to think that de facto D1 is their bracket to lose.
All right, guys, it's full-time back here with the Division 1 picks this time. Again, there are 8 games, and they're all happening on February 22nd. So get on out to your local high schools, support your teams. We're going to start with the 1-16 game between Santa Fe Christian and Mira Mesa. Now, Mira Mesa's been tested, pretty handily in the Western League. They got one game. They scored an upset against Mission Bay, which was a bit of a surprise. Carl Eschon's had a really good year as a senior. But I'm going to take Santa Fe Christian in this one. Santa Fe Christian, gets actually narrowly slipped out of the Open Division because of a head-to-head loss to La Costa Canyon that happened sometime in December. But over the course of the last 3 months, there haven't been 10 teams in San Diego that have performed more valiantly than the Eagles. Owen Asheris, I said earlier in the year that I felt that Owen Asheris was the best player on that team and one of the more underrated prospects in San Diego in that senior class. And he's done nothing but prove that to be the case. He's had an excellent senior year, and I think that continues. I think that they get this win, and I think they get it by 10 to 15 points.
Next game, the winner of that game will play the winner of this game. It's the number 8 San Marcos going to the number 9 West Hills. I will take the 8 seed. It'll be boring. Take the favorite again.
I'm going to take West Hills. We haven't heard a lot from West Hills this year. They played Helix really close a couple times, and huge shout out to Cam Berry at West Hills becoming the all-time scoring leader in their school's history. We had him on last season. I just feel like West Hills played a tough schedule this year, and they're going to get a little bit of a run here in the playoffs.
Now we're moving on to who they would potentially face in the quarterfinal matchup, and this is an 8-9 game between San Marcos and West Hills. San Marcos, of course, coming out of that really tough Avocado East, and they've had an underrated season, but as has West Hills. West Hills has a backcourt that really, proves to be a matchup problem for some teams. Cameron Berry, a high-scoring junior, and Marquel Cool, the undersized shooter, the senior for West Hills. The other thing is they are tough in the middle. They've got a couple of guys that really bang you. Nate Ball, stretch 4, who can play on the inside as well. And then, of course, they've got a junior that's on their team that doesn't get a lot of pub. His name escapes me, but he's about 6'5", and plays really tough on the inside. And, they also have a 6'7" center who, will provide resistance in the paint. But I'm going to, again, pick the home team. I'm picking San Marcos. San Marcos has been historically tough to beat in the first, in their home floor, especially in the playoffs, where they've had a lot of success in the Knight Center. And I really like, Cody Clouet and Cruz's chances to, get through this round and then also put a scare into Santa Fe Christian in the next round. So I'm going to pick San Marcos in that one.
Now staying on the same half of the bracket, but a different set of games here. We got the 5 El Camino hosting the 12 Francis Parker. Again, I'm boring. I'm going to take the favorite again. I will take the Wildcats. You with me or without me?
We had some trouble picking with El Camino this year, but I'm going to go with them. I'm going to roll the dice. I'm going to say that Trevor McFeely and Jalen Flanagan have what it takes to move on. I see this next game between them and Kearney being a huge game. So I'm going to take El Camino.
Francis Parker, it's been a rough year for the Lancers. They're young. They lost one of their best scorer, Matt Brady, for most of the year. Alec White had a really good senior year after transferring in, which doesn't really happen at Francis Parker very much. They don't get too many senior transfers. Without him, the season would have been entirely lost. With that said, they're facing an El Camino team that I think is going to be a little overwhelming for them, especially playing at home. Jalen Flanagan and crew got it done in that final game against Oceanside, which was which is a good confidence booster going into the playoffs. If they can get consistent play from Antonio Hale, the point guard, to complement what Trevor McFeely and Devontae Shepard do on the interior, I like their chances in this round and potentially in the next round as well. So I'm going to pick El Camino.
Winner of that game will take on the winner of this one. It's number 4 Kearney taking on number 13 Army Navy, the Road Warriors. I'm going to go with the comments here.
Keep going with those Road Warriors. Robbie Robinson and company, they have trained for this. They're ready to keep playing road games. They're ready to play in hostile environments. I see Kearney moving on.
Now we've got the 4-13 matchup, which is going to be fun, if only because Robbie Robinson and Richard Polanco might just drop 40 on each other. The only problem is Army-Navy only has one other guy that will score, and Kearney has 2 or 3 other guys that will give buckets. So this may be Richard Polanco scoring 40 but losing by 30. So I'm going to pick the Comets in this one. K-Hop gets it done, setting up a really intriguing 4-5 matchup with El Camino.
3 Mission Bay, 14 Escondido. Give me the Bucks.
Oh, Boogie, man. Let's see what Boogie can do. This is going to be the first playoff time that we get to see what he's really capable of. Can he take the regular season success over to a must-perform environment? I think he can.
So far, no upsets, and I don't think there are going to be any upsets on the bottom half either. Mission Bay goes to Escondido, and that's going to be our 3-14 matchup. Escondido, an interesting point before I go into this. If you look at the bottom half of Division I, it's crazy to think that all of these teams were the top teams in Division I and the Open Division just a year ago. Escondido, Eastlake 2 seasons ago, Morse, and of course Mira Mesa. These were all the top teams. What does it tell you? Graduating seniors sucks. Escondido, of course, graduated a lot and then lost to Warren Washington to transfer across the 15 to Mission Hills. Didn't help at all. And they go into a situation where Boogie Ellis, a fan favorite on SDPI, has been dropping 25, making it rain all season. I don't think the deluge stops against Escondido. So we're picking Mission Bay to move on.
Winner of that game takes on the winner of number 6 Lincoln and number 11 Eastlake. I'm going to take the Hornets. Again, all favorites so far. I'm being so fun.
I'm going to go with the upset here. I'm going to take Brian Leonard, and I'm going to take Eastlake. I think that we just saw a little bit of inconsistencies with Lincoln this year, and I think that Eastlake's got a big game in them. I'm going to take the Titans.
The 6-11 game is a little tricky. Lincoln versus Eastlake. I had a chance to see Eastlake this week. They're undersized, but they play hard as heck on the defensive end. The Titans really get after it. They've got a lot of nondescript sophomores. Brian Leonard is more known for his baseball prowess than what he does on the basketball court. But they do they defend and they play hard for Coach Marlon Stewart. Now Lincoln, on the other hand, just went into Cathedral on Seniors Night and spoiled that old shebang. So you gotta they're playing with a lot of confidence. One thing that we haven't really talked about with Lincoln this year is they played the entire season without junior forward Raekwon Everett, who initially thought that he had a sprained ACL, but then the MRI results came back 2 weeks ago. I don't know why it took 2 weeks. Until 2 weeks ago to get him, but he has a full tear of his ACL. He's out for the year. So that may not help them come later rounds, but for now, they get it done against Eastlake.
And something I never thought I'd say, the number 7 seed in Division I, Cathedral Catholic, going to be hosting number 10 Grossmont. I will take the Dons. And I think they could be the team that ends up taking this whole bracket. Again, did not have their season end the way they wanted to, and because of the way they played so many out of out of San Diego teams. Their points got a little bit messed up, but so I'm going to take Cathedral on this one.
It's definitely weird seeing that 7. You kind of want to just get rid of that one little part and straighten it out, give them a 1 seed. But yeah, you got to think that in a condensed format such as the playoffs, where it's a 3-game season basically, that Brandon McCoy and company have plenty in the tank to get those wins necessary. So I'll take Cathedral.
Now we move on to Cathedral Catholic versus Grossmont. Again, these are kind of really lopsided games, even though they're 7-10 matchups. I think Cathedral's talent really overwhelms Grossmont in this one. Brandon McCoy is going to have, he's not going to have much resistance. Grossmont's not exactly a big team. They are physical. Like half their basketball team are football players, so they will make it physical. But I don't see Cathedral having too much trouble with this one.
And the last game, Division 1-2, Poway 15 Morse. I will take the Titans.
Yeah, you got to just take those Titans. They're another team that real quietly was on that bubble for open. So they've got the we need to win this, otherwise it looks bad type mentality. So I'll take Poway.
And that takes us to Poway versus Morse. Again, Morse played in the Western League, got 4 wins in the Western League, just got one of their their only big guy. Was it Elijah Seals eligible after the February 3rd final grades in San Diego Unified Schools? So that really helps their cause. But Poway, of course, coming off of a disappointing loss in the Palomar League finale against Rancho Bernardo, they're looking to put that behind them, and they've, of course, got a lot of talent. Zach Ryder, Jordan Cook-Harper, Derek Sitt, and, a deep bench to go along with it. I tell you, one of the key things that happened with Poway during the year that no one really knew about was that Tim Mills, who had transferred to Crawford at the beginning of the year and then transferred back to Poway before the season began, he still had to sit out 30 days. But him becoming eligible and playing the last 5 games really made a difference for Poway. And I think it makes a big difference, not just in the first round, but moving on, where I think they may be the favorites in D1. So I'm picking Poway to win this one. Those are your D1 predictions from Full Time Hoops. I'm going to send it back to the studio.
All right, there's Division 1. Again, please make sure you check out all the divisions and all the videos. And we'll see you for the second round, right?
Yeah, we'll see out some games, too. We might be at that Poway Morse game. Go check it out.
Hint, hint.